So welcome back. I've created a new file called constant.py. So if you want to talk about constant in Python has to be in capital letter. So it's case sensitive. So let's see. I have something like I assign it to 3.142. So this is a constant. So if I put my mouse on it, so it's going to show us that it is actually a constant. So that's all on constants in Python. There's really nothing much from that. So I'll just go back to my previous file and just continue from there. So let's say we want to next thing we want to do data types. So briefly we mentioned like two data types along the way before we got to this point. So the first one that we mentioned was string. So this string is essentially characters from A to Z. So let's say I want something like print. Let's say I want something like print this sentence is the output. So and I'm going to run this program now. So what I will do is clear my screen. So I'll run this again. This sentence is the output. So now I want to try and get the data type, and we want to also perform an operation called slicing operation for a string also. So what we can do is that we can print. One thing to note is that strings are immutable. Immutable means that they cannot change, their state will not change. So I'll comment this out, and let's just have something like print what I will do is that I'll assign this to a variable and just say x. Let me just use this name line. Just say x, assign it to maybe say hello world, and let's just say print. Let me take out this line 25. I don't need it anymore. Let me use my variable now. So I'll just do hello. This type is a string, and how to write it is, to know it's str. You see, it's a class of Python on its own. You can create a new string object from the given object. So I'll remove this. It's just to show you that it's a string. So we can just do something like type also. Type will show us what it is. So I will just say print type of x. That means what type of data is x. So if I run this now, I'm going to see the class is str, which is also string. So what I want to actually do with this string is I want to use my slicing operator. So the slicing operator, I'll write this is the slicing operator. The square bracket is the slicing operator. So when I run this now, I'll just print. So the first element is by index. The first element is h. So h, and let's say I want to print a range of elements using my slicing operator. I want to print the variable name is x, as you can see. So that's why I'm putting x first, and my slicing operator. So I want to print between the first element to the fifth element. So that should be just hello. So that's just hello here. So you can play around with this. You can save from that to the eighth element and just see what it does. So you say hello with the space and wo, and you can, if you want to print from one end, or let's say from item from index 3 to the end, you don't need to put anything at the back and just run it this way. So if I print this, see, from the third element, which is the first one is 0, 1, 2. So stops here. So we have from this, that's the third element. So that is all on slicing slicing element on strings. So we want to do slicing elements on other data type also. So the first data type we did was string also. And so we have something called integer. Integers are numbers ranging from 1 to any number you can think of. So let's say y, assign it to 20. So again, let's print the type, data type. So type y. So I'll clear the screen here, and I'm going to run it again, and let's see. So int, which means it's an integer. So we also have another data type called float. So anything with a bracket, with a dot rather, the float. So let's say 20.7. This is a float. So let's say print and type z will be a float number. So the first one is an int, and this is a float. So and we also have something called a complex number. So let me mute all this. Control/. So let's say I'm assigning it to a complex number comprises of a real part and an imaginary part. So the real part is the first part, which is this 2, plus let's say 10j. So the j is the complex part of the code. So let's say print type a. So we should have something like complex. So this is it, class complex. You can see it here. So this is just to show that the type of data is a complex number. So that is all on this data type. So we have another data type, and we're going to call that one. The next one is a list. So list. So a list has a bracket, which is a list bracket. So let's say we assign it to a list bracket, which is also our slicing bracket. So I want to list items of fruit. Let's say apple. This B, I would like to change it from B to fruit. Fruits. So apple. Inside this item, then I can have another set of apple fruit called orange. Then after the last hold on, I'm going to have a comma. Let's say I have something like cherry, and it's a string, so I'm going to put this in the quotes. So cherry, and let's stop there. So I can check the type, print type fruits. So we can see it's a list. Let me clear the screen so we can have a proper view of it. So you can see it's a list. So that so we can also perform okay, let me just give a complex definition of this. This is an ordered sequence of items, and they do not need to be of the same type. So just like it's seen here, this is of the same type string. So I can just add more and say 1, 3. Now I'm adding an integer, and let's add a float number. Say that's 0.8. So this is a float number. So if a list item does not have to be of the same data type. So and also let's perform our slicing operation on this list. And let's say print our variable in which is fruit, and our slicing operator, let's say index 1. I just want the first index. So let me clear this screen and let me run it again now. Let's see. We can see the first item, which is index 0, is up. So and let's say I want to get the fifth item. Let's say I want the fifth item. So I'll run it. So 30.8, which is the last item. So in the next video, I'll be talking more on the other data types that we have.